Alright, so this is just for personal use. Working for FEC, we are building a homepage for a company called Studio 250. I have already been to their old website, taken full screenshots of each page, put it in a folder along with their Google Business Profile screenshot, and now the rest of this video is just me building in public. Okay. So next steps are design references, layout, adopt the main photo slideshow, 3-box service breakdown model by Lounge Studios. Like this. They like this. So we're going to build this, a type of version or a version of this hero section for them, but we're also going to build another version which looks like alright, so we found it, and this is the hero section I want to make or similar to this one right here. Okay, now then what's next? So we're gonna build a Gemini gem for Studio 250 so that we can keep everything centralized. And to do that, we need to download this file. Cool. So now we have the transcript of the meeting. Let's go ahead and change this to transcript, and then we'll file download. Okay. Website next steps. We got the transcript. We need to get their logo. Okay, we got the logo. And now I feel like I have enough information that we're going to be able to create the instruction prompt for the Gemini gem. And I use ChatGPT to do that because I think ChatGPT's writing is just so much more natural. And then so we'll take this prompt and then plug it into the gem. So let's go ahead and attach our files here. Rock and roll. Need your help creating a prompt for Gemini Gem that will contain all the project info about a new client, not a Safe Group client, a client from my other company called FE Creations. The client is Studio 250 in New York. Here is their website. I have attached some images of the current website in case you have issues accessing it. Also, our transcripts of the meeting, website next steps. This should give you enough context to create an instruction prompt for Gemini. Let's go ahead and include the URL.
What's up, guys?
Okay, cool. Let's see what happens. And I just got to share this because I love my my ChatGPT style. But it says, "You really handed me a whole Manhattan loft wrapped in PDFs and screenshots and said, 'Hey Lex, make Gemini magically know everything about this client.'" Cool, fine, I'll do it. It's exactly what I want. Alright, cool. So let's just review this real quick. Handling strategy, content, SEO, content, is to maintain accurate knowledge of the product, generate. This all looks pretty correct. I know that this is correct. Clean typography similar to Space 20. Okay, so we just went and got what the font extension, and this is Proxima Nova. Let's just double check that real quick. Google font Proxima Nova. Oh, looks like it's an Adobe font. Similar Google fonts to Proxima Nova. Montserrat, yeah. Railway, yeah, close. Lato, I would say close. Fig Tree, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Fig Tree, is that a Google font? Sure is. Wonderful, we're gonna use Fig Tree. All right, we're gonna just refine this prompt a little bit. Let's keep going real quick. That's correct. That's correct. So this looks pretty good, as expected. All right, here we go. So we'll just copy all that, and then we'll go over to the instructions, paste it in there. It took it all. Okay. And then knowledge. So we're going to add some files here. And we're just going to add the same files that I just added here. And then there was a few more files that I wanted to add, not the transcript. use those files yet. I'll wait until Ryan cleans them up. Okay, cool. We can always add files later. So this is a really good start for Studio 250. Let's save this gem, and then let's build the home page. So we're just gonna keep it simple. Definitely want Thinking with Pro, and then usually I do Canvas so that we can build stuff together. And let's just, brain dump out using the microphone tool or the dictation tool. Hey there, we are going to be creating the first draft of the home page for Studio 250. I really just want to see what you come up with regarding without the chat thing messed up because I typed in it. Let's try again. All right, we are creating the homepage content, or the homepage itself, design and content for Studio 250. That is your job. I want to see what you come up with first, according to your instructions and all the internal knowledge, the internal files you have. So let's see what you got. Make sure to pull the correct colors from the logo. And we want a dark theme modern website. I will also provide 3 links to 3 websites that the client said they like, but I also want you to make a complete copy of the same website, but we're going to have a different hero section in that one. And after I can see both of them, I will give you the information for the second. Alright, so first shot is not great, but not terrible. Let's make it bigger. So let's just go through it real quick. I think the copy is pretty good. Book a walkthrough, explore spaces. I like this little banner here for the seasonal services. Studio capabilities. These are the 3 cards that they said they wanted. And then design for production business. kind of like the gallery here, even though this image is broken. These are all placeholders, obviously. That's a good deal. Early access and late loadout can be arranged upon. That's right. That's a detail that's not explicitly mentioned in the prompt, so that's good. No, yeah, no private parties or weddings. Commercial rental space for photography. We do not host weddings, birthday parties, or social gatherings. Okay, cool. So yeah, no alcohol. No, the studio space, furniture, and kitchen amenities. Yeah, okay, cool. And then a contact section. All right, cool. So it's not great, right? The copy, I would say, is pretty good. The design really leaves me wanting more. All right, so we're gonna try to prompt Gemini here with a little bit more information on what style we're looking for, the sex appeal that we're looking for, and I'm gonna feed it a few images. Specifically, what was it, Studio 28? That's not it. So we just came up here, grabbed a few full screenshots. This would be the home page, home, which is, whoops. Don't you hate when it does that? Okay, so this is home, Studio 28. This is it's like loft 7, Studio 28. Okay, so we got those. Let's go get this one. I forget what it liked about this one. Maybe just the gallery. And then let's do this one. Okay, we'll just take a screenshot of the home page. And this is called Lounge Studios. Home. All right, cool. Now let's see if we can get Gemini to take these images, specifically of the home page or the hero section, and see if it can recreate the hero section from this image. So we really need the hero section to resemble the hero section on this attachment here for Lounge Studios. Keep the content the same. Make sure we change all the font to Figtree. It does not look like we're using Figtree. Yeah, it won't even, the font won't even look in there. So that's okay. We want to keep the content the same, make sure we change all the fonts to Figtree. It does not look like we're using Figtree. Okay, let's just give it that simple prompt. I went ahead and asked ChatGPT to build the home page as well. We'll see what happens. With this prompt, we got a much better feel, I think everything looks way better, way sexier. Love the light mode, dark mode. We'll probably move the icon somewhere else, maybe down the bottom right, because I don't like how this is scooched over by it, but that's easy. So I love the heading here. It's really cool. We just need to put a cool picture behind it. Let's go ahead and see if we can do that. Here I'm just trying to make this logo, just make it better. So I'm going to ask, use Banana 3 Pro to give me 8 variations of this logo. Make sure they're all on PNG with a transparent background. Keep the same colors. Play with the fonts. And on 4 of the generations, go wild with creativity. Make sure to keep it horizontal in nature or an aspect ratio, because this is going to be used on the web. Okay, so I got to a point where I was like pretty happy with what was going on, and For whatever reason, Google doesn't like let me host images. So if I feed it images and tell it to put it in the logo, it doesn't do it. Same with the hero section. It just pulls placeholders and uses it from whatever database they're using. So what I like to do is go into Lovable, and I literally just click this preview button, or sorry, this code button, copy paste it, go to Lovable, say create this verbatim, paste it, and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even a minute, and they recreated it exactly as I want it. And now, yes, you have to use credits with Lovable, but it's really reasonable. And so long as you do certain things, like you can edit the code straight away if you know what you're doing in these files, which I can sort of get around in. And then you can do a visual edit, so you can literally click in here and change what's in there or not. That doesn't cost anything. And then you can chat about your project, so that and I do believe the chat does use credits, but it does such a better job of understanding your prompt. It usually does a pretty good job anyway, but chat just makes sure that there's no edits being happening to your project before. And then obviously you can just revert if you need to. Let's fix this real quick. The art of space. What's happening here? Say. Okay. That's incorrect. We want of on the next line. Because it looks sexier. Oh no! Why is it doing this? Oh my gosh. It's here that I don't like, so let's go ahead and see what we can do about it. Alright, so first thing I want to do is move this. So what I'm going to do is click Visual Edit and then hover over it and then say I want to move the /start button to near the bottom right corner of the user interface or viewport. The navigation needs more room and this button is in the way. I don't even know if that last sentence was necessary, but I just like to talk to it that way. So exactly what I want, exactly where I wanted it. Pretty sexy. Okay, so clearly we have an issue down here, and we need to figure out a different design for the hero section. Like, I think maybe this card should just be moved over here to the right. Let's try it. And let's see how many credits it takes. Okay, 391.8. Let's do a visual edit. Let's make sure we select this div and then say, let's move this div to the right side of the hero section. There's a blank space there now, and this would fit nicely there. All right. Boom. Bada bang. Okay, there it is. I think this should be raised up some, but let's see how many credits that took. 0.8. It's like $100 for 400 credits. So not too bad. Okay, now we're gonna put the correct logo in. I got Gemini working on that, and then we're gonna put a placeholder image in the background, and then we will adjust this spacing if we need to. I also want all the orange lines to have the same but like inverse effect as the gray separators, because I think that looks so slick. So let's say that. Add the same pulsing effect. Add the same pulsing effect that the gray lines have with the orange pulse, add that same exact effect to all the orange lines and just inverse the color. This needs to work both on light and dark theme. And then I also want you to add this pulsing to the borders of all the buttons, specifically only the buttons that actually have borders. All right, so let's see if it knows what we're talking about. All right, cool. So let's just review this real quick. In dark mode, orange lines pulse with a white light gradient. Okay, let's try it. So yeah, that didn't work out the way I wanted it. It kind of broke some stuff and then also made some other stuff look silly. So I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna keep it the way it was. So let's revert it. All right, and let's do something a little simpler. Let's add the background image, and then let's, make sure that it pulls appropriate looking stock images for now. And then we'll add animation to everything. This looks great. I love that. This looks great. I think we're going to change the body text to Urbanist, and we'll see what that does. All right, so I'm going to put the Urbanist Google font in here. Actually, I don't want to. This font looks great. So we're not going to do that. We are going to add the hero image, and please fill out any other broken images with working placeholders. Okay, let's add the hero section, or the, what's it called? Man, where is it? Where is that stuff? Here we go. All right, I downloaded it here. Yes. Okay, cool. Dude, where's my stuff at? Thank you. Okay, so there's that, and then we need, let's ask it to like recreate the logo, which is the AVF file I attached, as text using Urbanist Google font, then 100. Let's go ahead and leave that in there. And let's attach the AVF. All right, let's see what happens. All right, we're implementing the plan now, and let's see what happens. All right, so it looks pretty good. This stuff's not contrasting well, so we need to figure out a gradient up here as well. And then I've asked it to do some things with the logo, but I think that looks really pretty decent, at least, for a starting point. Oh, yes, I love the way that happens when you scroll. Maybe just leave it like that, and then when people scroll, it pops in. That looks great. Let's keep going. We need photos here and here. That's done. That's done. Okay. Okay, I just asked it to add scroll-based motion effects for most items on the screen. Let's see how that does. I fixed the spacing here, and we're gonna like, we got the stock photos done. This is looking good. We'll see the animation, and then we will make sure, oh, these don't have hover effects, so these need to have hover effects, and then we'll fix that, and then we'll make sure that it's responsive, and then we'll send it on over for initial review. This has been 2 hours of work to go from literally the discovery call and project setup to this. Cool. So that motion worked for everything except the hero section. So I have instructed it to add sexy motion, literally super sexy animation to the hero section, but everything else has some nice motion. So, and nothing, overwhelming or game breaking or anything like that. We don't need that, but we do need a little bit of movement, and we got it. Looks good. Pretty nice. Let's refresh the page and see. Bada boom. Looks beautiful. Okay, the only thing I want to do is align this card to the bottom of this hero, or this H1, and we'll change the H1 and H2s and everything here in a second. Just want to get the design right and make sure that the client is happy with how the design is progressing, and then we'll rock and roll. My mother-in-law, if you can hear that, is playing Rudolph on the piano right now, so that's badass. All right, so that looks good. Let's fix this card, and then let's address the responsive nature of this website. All right, so we'll click Visual Edits, make sure it's turned on, click this card, and just say align the bottom of this div to the bottom of the H1 to the left, and make sure they always stay aligned. Let's see how that goes. So it got it right, and it does look better aligned to the bottom, but now I want this whole section here centered. So I want this section centered, like, something like that. It needs to be centered better. So let's try that. All right, so I just said I'd like this whole section to be centered vertically in the hero section. Let's see how that goes. And then I added a screenshot of the section I was talking about. And there it is. That looks much better. Beautiful. Rock and roll. So that's good. That's good. Yeah, none of these links really go anywhere. This is, once again, this is just a home page. And then I think we need hover effects on these two. Corporate, showroom. Yeah, let's add hover effects for these two. That doesn't seem right. There should be hover effects and, a dark overlay, and then title on these. That's done. That's done. And then after this hover effect thing, we're going to do responsiveness, and then that will be 2.5 hours of work and approximately 20 credits. That's like, what is that? Yeah, this was like 20 credits, 25 credits. So that's like $5. All right, so I'm gonna just speak really plainly and like hillbillyish to Lovable and see if it knows what I'm talking about here. The first image shows a hover effect with a dark overlay and a title on it. The next screenshot is a picture in the same section, which is the selected work or portfolio section, but it does not have the dark overlay and it does not have the title. We need to make sure all sections, all images in this selected work section have the same hover effect. All right, so that was like, sort of clear, but let's see how it interprets me. Alright, so let me look at the gallery. It's saying, I see the issue looking at the selected works, images with hover, show room corporate images without. So it found this one and I didn't even tell it to, which is what I wanted it to do. I wanted to be, lacking detail and see how thorough it is. Plan add consistent hover effects to all. Issue 2 of the 4 images gallery are missing the dark overlay. Yeah. Rock and roll. Okay, cool. Implement the plan. And voila, we have the hover effects that we want. Rock and roll. Now we need to check. Yeah, see it doesn't really work on mobile, so I'm gonna take a few screenshots of stuff and just say, hey, oh, sorry, this isn't mobile, this is tablet. So let's just make sure we give it a few examples of things that are not great. I mean, this is fine. That's fine, but the spacing in the contact is bad. Okay, cool. So we're gonna send it these screenshots and then we're gonna tell it to fix the responsiveness for the tablet. And we're gonna go ahead and check the phone just to see, and that's off. That's off. That looks fine. Looks fine. Looks good. Looks good. And the spacing around that is a little much. So I'm not going to mention anything about the, we got to get that fixed. Yeah, that's broken. We'll fix that. So I'm not going to mention anything about the responsive issues on the phone and see if it fixes it just from me prompting it about the tablet view. So let's do that real quick. The tablet view is showing some responsive issues. The logo is squished, the spacing in the navigation is bad. The navigation just needs to be the hamburger icon, and then the spacing on much of this is bad. I'm going to let you choose your own adventure in regards to what you do with the hero section, the stats section, the curated experiences section. The amenities section looks fine. The selected works section looks fine. Inquiries is fine. And then the spacing on the contact form, there's too much spacing inside the glassomorphic card. Let's work on that. I just want you to review the entire responsive nature of this project and then make appropriate fixes. Alright, here we go. Send a chat, wait for a response. So check it out. It said, let me review. I have a complete picture of the code base based on screenshots. I can see the tablet view issues clearly. Navigation. Possibilities, text is being cut off, curated. Alright, so it's not bad. There's definitely still some issues, like this card's in the wrong spot. It just needs to be moved up. Stats look better. Curated experiences look better. Amenities, that's fine. And this has some issues too, but we can fix that. So let's do that real quick. Not utilizing the horizontal space in this card efficiently or desirably. Let's just see what happens with that feedback. And check it out. Nana Banana finally got it right after some time. We got it right, and now we have a good solid logo image that we can use. So it does this thing where it gives you like a visual result, and I think it it's doing okay, but once again, it's not really okay. Two options: reduce left column width, change left column, horizontal info layout to keep the current column split, arrange location and notice side by side within the left column using the 2-column grid. Location and notice side by side. Begin project title spanning across the top below that have. Recommended is for B, space wide. So I kind of like option C, but I'm going to go with its recommendation first, and then we can go to option B or option C if necessary. Okay, so I kind of like it, but I'm gonna fix this real quick. Just put this on the same line, and we're good to go. I wonder what's doing that. Begin project, rock and roll, save. Okay. Now let's see. Yeah, we need to fix this real quick. Needs to move up. let's literally just say that and see what happens. Alright, so it didn't do anything with that one. Let's try again in the more old school way. Say, take a screenshot and say, this card needs to be moved up in the hero section so that it has equal and consistent spacing underneath the H1. Okay, so that one didn't work either. Let's try again. And that's, you know, I said it pretty hillbilly, but let's see if it gets it right. Okay, so it's having some major issues understanding what I want done here. So this is what I'm gonna do is say visual edit, click this card and say, I'd like for you to create temporary slider controls so that I can adjust the position vertically of this div. I also want an apply button that will apply the exact spot I want for it on tablet so that it stays where I want it to. Alright, so check it out. It made me the glass card position and it's working, but not as much as I want. And it's moving. Oh, okay. So let's just go ahead and do like this. Let's see if we can. Let's go ahead and just click apply. Well, apply this to the glass card container. Okay, so let's click the X. I took a screenshot of that, and then I'm gonna see if I can just move the whole thing up here in a second. I'm still having issues positioning this thing right now, which is a real bummer, because it should be super easy, and I can't edit it because it's like a dynamic positioning for whatever reason. And so I used the visual edit. I hovered over the glass Morphic card, and I said to space it equally between the bottom of the H1 and the top of the stats card below it. So let's see how that goes. Still really struggling. Holy mackerel. Alright, so what are we doing now? I'm kind of getting a lost. I've been at this for 3 hours. Oh yeah, navigation. So let's see if the navigation looks better. Sort of. Let's tell them what's wrong with it. Unfortunately, sometimes you gotta just burn credits and keep telling it the same thing over and over until it fixes itself. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. I was building a version of markup.io, and to get the browsing functionality that they have on their tool, it took me like 20 tries of just saying, no, that didn't work, no, that didn't work, no, that didn't work. And it eventually got it. Lovable eventually got it. But man, after a bunch of failures, we finally got it to work. Man, it's been real rough going for the past hour. But we are approaching the finish line. We finally got it to do the slider thing that I've been wanting. And it worked great, as you can see. We got the right sizes set for these. So there we go. Almost done. Okay, I had to apologize to my AI because I got a little frustrated with it there towards the end. But we are officially ready to share this with our client, which is pretty awesome. You know, we put this together including building the projects and like setting up the first folder and everything. 4 hours. It costs like 80 credits total. That's like $25, and it looks phenomenal. Like, this looks great, and it's totally responsive. It switches well between light and dark mode, and like it's pretty good, I would say. All right, hope y'all had fun.